Kindness is praised as the highest virtue. Be gentle, be generous, be forgiving. That's what the world tells you. But here's the truth no one dares to say. In the wrong hands, your kindness becomes your chains. The man who is too nice is not respected. He is used. His time is consumed. His resources drained. His loyalty betrayed. And when he finally collapses, the world shrugs and moves on to its next victim. Machiavelli warned that generosity without calculation leads not to love, but to ruin. Nietzsche despised pity because it weakens the strong and empowers the manipulator. Even Marcus Aurelius, the most benevolent of emperors, knew that boundaries are the armor of a man who wants to remain free. So the question is this: is your kindness your sword or your noose? Today, I will give you 7 Machiavellian tactics, not to kill your kindness, but to forge it into steel, to stop being consumed by parasites, to turn your so-called weakness into your greatest source of power. Because kindness without strategy is suicide. But kindness sharpened by power, that is empire. Tactic 1. Control the flow of kindness. Kindness without control is like pouring wine into the dirt. It doesn't nourish. It doesn't build. It disappears. Wasted. The weak man gives by instinct. He hands out favors, time, and energy to anyone who asks. He mistakes constant giving for virtue, when in reality, he is training the world to see him as a servant. Machiavelli said it plainly: a prince who is generous to everyone quickly exhausts his fortune and becomes despised. This is not about cruelty. It's about strategy. You must control the flow of your kindness like a king controls his treasury. Every act of generosity should have purpose. Every gift should buy loyalty, build alliances, or reinforce your image of strength. To give randomly is to throw away power. To give selectively is to multiply it. Before you give, pause. Ask: who benefits most from this? What do I gain in return? Does this strengthen my position or weaken it? If the answer is weakness, hold back. Because the truth is this: when your kindness is everywhere, it is nowhere. But when your kindness is rare, it is priceless. Uncontrolled kindness is slavery disguised as virtue. Tactic 2. Demand reciprocity relentlessly. A man who gives without expectation teaches others a dangerous lesson: that his resources, his loyalty, and his very soul can be taken without cost. And when something has no cost, it has no value. Look back at history. Kings never gave gifts freely. They bought loyalty. Every coin, every land grant, every favor carried an unspoken contract. Return what I give you in obedience, protection, or service. Even Machiavelli himself wrote that generosity without demand corrodes power. It makes rulers poor and subjects ungrateful. But modern men fall into the trap of one-way kindness. They pay for dinners that are never returned. They listen endlessly to the problems of others while their own pain is ignored. They invest time, energy, and loyalty into people who give them nothing back. And then they wonder why they feel invisible. Here is the law: if you give, demand a return. Not always in words, but always in posture. A raised expectation. A subtle standard. You are not a doormat. You are a sovereign. Your kindness must return to you in loyalty, respect, or opportunity. From this moment forward, track the balance. Who always takes but never gives? Who ignores your effort when it doesn't serve them? Cut them off, or make the debt visible. Make them pay in gratitude, support, or alliance, because kindness without reciprocity is exploitation. But kindness tied to return builds empires. Every gift without return creates a chain around your neck. Tactic 3. Strike the mask, not the man. Every exploiter wears a mask. The mask of the helpless victim, the mask of the loyal friend, the mask of the grateful admirer. Behind it, a predator waiting to drain you dry. Most men make the fatal mistake of fighting the man instead of the mask. They get caught in endless arguments, emotional battles, and messy confrontations. They rail against the surface, but the mask endures. The manipulator keeps feeding, hidden in plain sight. Machiavelli knew that perception rules the battlefield. Attack the illusion, and you destabilize the entire structure. Jung warned that the persona, the mask we wear, is often more powerful than the reality behind it. And Nietzsche? He would call the mask a lie that demands to be unmasked. The law is this: don't waste energy fighting the man. Expose the mask, call out the performance, shine light on the act. Because when the illusion collapses, the exploiter has nothing left to hide behind. His power evaporates in the open air. The next time you face someone exploiting your kindness, strip away the role they're playing. Say it directly. You only call when you need something. Or, you act helpless, but you're capable of more. Speak to the mask, not the excuses. That truth is a sword. The manipulator can resist confrontation, but he cannot survive exposure. Shatter the mask, and the parasite suffocates in daylight. Tactic 4. Starve their chaos, feed your order. Exploitive people live off chaos. They stir emotions, they manufacture crises, they drag you into their storms, because in the storm, they control the frame. If you are constantly reacting, you are no longer thinking. You are a puppet. Machiavelli warned rulers, he who controls the narrative of fear and hope controls the people. Manipulators do exactly this on a smaller scale. They create confusion, guilt, urgency, and then feed off your desperate need to resolve it. But here is the counterstrike. Do not feed their chaos. Feed your order. Refuse to be dragged into emotional whirlpools. Speak calmly when they shout. Delay when they demand immediacy. Keep your routine unshaken while they unravel. The calmer you remain, the more their power withers. Nietzsche said, "He who has a why can bear almost any how." Your why is order, your values, your mission, your discipline. When you build structure, routine, and purpose, manipulators can't hook you. Chaos cannot invade a fortified citadel. Starve their chaos. Don't answer late-night emotional texts. Don't rush to solve urgent dramas that are traps. Keep your time sacred. Keep your inner world still. Instead, invest in your order, your body, your craft, your empire. Because manipulators thrive where your ground is shaky. But when you stand on solid stone, their chaos collapses into dust. Starve their chaos and your order becomes unshakable. Tactic 5. Exploit the power of selective favor. Kindness loses its value when it is constant. The man who is always available, always giving, always ready to sacrifice, becomes invisible. His favors are expected, not respected. His generosity is consumed, not cherished. Machiavelli understood this with brutal clarity. A prince who is generous with everyone ends up poor and despised. But a prince who gives sparingly, at the right moment to the right person, secures unshakable loyalty. What is rare is valuable. What is constant is cheap. Selective favor is the art of making your kindness a treasure, not a handout. You do not give to everyone. You do not give often. You give strategically, when you reward loyalty, when you cement alliances, when you reinforce respect. Your kindness becomes power. Think of ancient rulers. The banquet was not open to the masses. It was reserved for the few whose presence strengthened the crown. Your life must mirror this. Your energy, time, and kindness should feel earned. Audit your kindness. Who gets it without cost? Who drains it without loyalty? Cut them off. Instead, grant your favor selectively to those who elevate your mission, respect your boundaries, and prove their worth. Because kindness that is everywhere becomes nothing, but kindness that is rare becomes unforgettable. What is rare is valued. What is constant is consumed. Tactic 6. Expose the parasite. Every exploiter has one thing in common. They survive in the shadows. They thrive in silence, in your hesitation, in your fear of confrontation. Like a parasite, they feed quietly, hoping you never notice the slow bleed. But parasites cannot survive in the light. The moment you expose them, name their behavior, reveal their patterns, make their taking visible, their power disintegrates. They cannot defend themselves against truth, so they will either flee, lash out, or wither. History is full of this lesson. Machiavelli advised rulers to unmask conspirators quickly and publicly, for fear spreads faster than whispers. Nietzsche urged us to despise those who live like leeches on the strength of others. Even the Stoics warned, the man who allows himself to be drained willingly is complicit in his own slavery. Call it out. Say the truth directly. You never give back. You only appear when you want something. Or cut them off silently, exposing them by your withdrawal. Either way, you deny the parasite its host. Do not negotiate. Do not justify. Make the exploitation undeniable, and then walk away with your power intact. Because parasites don't stop feeding out of guilt. They stop only when you starve them. He who feeds on you without shame deserves no mercy. Tactic 7. Convert kindness into strength, not weakness. Kindness is not the enemy. Weakness is. What destroys men is not their compassion, but their failure to command it. When kindness rules you, you become a slave. But when you rule kindness, it becomes the sharpest edge in your arsenal. Think of the great leaders. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, was revered for his kindness, but it was never weakness. It was deliberate, strategic, reserved for moments that reinforced his image as a just ruler. Machiavelli himself admitted, when mercy is used selectively, it secures more loyalty than cruelty ever could. The final law is this: use kindness as a choice, never as a compulsion. Let it serve your mission. Let it bind allies, inspire loyalty, and build a legacy. Kindness must come from strength, never from fear of rejection or desperation for approval. Reframe kindness in your life. Do not ask, am I nice enough? Ask, does this act serve my power, my values, or my empire? If yes, give freely, with force. If not, withhold. In this way, your kindness will no longer drain you. It will elevate you. Because when you master your kindness, it becomes a sword that cuts chains instead of forging them. When you rule your kindness, it becomes power. When it rules you, it becomes chains. Forge kindness into a weapon. You were told that kindness is always good, that to give endlessly, to sacrifice without question, is the path to love and respect. But reality has shown you the opposite. Endless kindness doesn't inspire respect. It breeds exploitation. It teaches wolves to feed on you and cowards to use you as their shield. But hear this clearly. Your kindness was never the problem. Your lack of strategy was. You are not being called to kill your compassion, but to forge it into steel, to make it rare, deliberate, and powerful, to bind allies, not parasites, to build empires, not cages. Every man has a choice: remain a victim of his good heart, or transform it into a weapon that commands respect. The weak will remain drained, resenting the world. The strong will rise, demanding reciprocity, starving chaos, unmasking parasites, and ruling their kindness like a sovereign. So I leave you with the only question that matters. Will your kindness remain chains, or will you forge it into power? Subscribe to the Inner Citadel Project, and comment the one truth you're avoiding.